not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I nail a prediction for JJK's final chapter count. Whose finger is this for? And snow? What's snow? This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 266. It opens up with Yuji hearing Megumi talk about the kind of world he wanted to create for Sumiki, which essentially could be classified as just a normal day to regular humans, the kind of life Yuji acknowledged as proper in the previous chapter. Before Megumi can end the conversation, Yuji explains how his grandpa was diagnosed with lung cancer and chose to go the route of not taking the treatment and prolonging it, going through the pain. And with coming to Jujutsu Technical College, Yuji came to understand his grandpa's choice and the choices of people who have to face the harsh reality of things. The sorcery world has brought Yuji to the brink of despair more than once, and hell, he's even basically died a few times. This adversity allowed him to empathize with his grandpa, as well as make him realize it would be disingenuous to tell Megumi to live after losing all that he has. This is growth for Yuji. He is dealing with someone who resides closer to the side of wanting to just die rather than live. Just telling him to live wouldn't move Megumi. It has to be something selfish coming from Yuji himself, something that purely is of his own wants to have Megumi back. But we will continue Megumi's part in just a second, because the chapter cuts back to the real world and Sukuna opens up with a hollow wicker basket, which by the way I did call even though it's low-key obvious. The way I looked at it though is, why else would JJK give Sukuna all 4 arms back in almost an instant, right before getting hit with a Yuji domain expansion at the end of 264. Sukuna thinks about the output being low on things like hollow wicker basket and simple domain, but he can circumvent that issue with holding the hand sign for activation with his 2 extra arms. This allows him maximum output to protect against domain expansion sure hit. For one, I thought we knew that already, and 2, if you have a problem with him using hollow wicker basket even though he showed it off like 15 chapters ago, I'd like to ask you, did you really think Sukuna wouldn't have some kind of anti-domain technique? Sure, he is cocky, but bro is a scholar of sorcery. He does it for the love of the game. Back to the chapter though, swapping of the hands, and Sukuna pops Yuji's ass and sends him flying. We get to see Sukuna back in his petty ways as he talks about how it made him mad to be looked down on by Yuji. He reminds him that he's going to kill every person in front of him to pay for that act of pitying him. We then cut to the scene where Kid Megumi meets Teen Gojo for the first time, although this time Yuji's there. But Megumi asks the same question, "What's with that face?" Yuji responds, "Well, it'll be sad without you, Fushiguro." The most wholesome act of selfishness. And look at that, with a sincere face, how can you hate Yuji? In the streams, everyone was quick to think that this means Megumi gave up and died, as if that was Yuji saying goodbye to him. But no, I stood on business and was 10 toes for the GOAT Megumi, who in the very next panel we see him use 10 shadows to trip up Sukuna, which opens up a major lick back for Sukuna to get hit by Yuji. And not only that, he gets hit into Yuji's hunting ground, the snowy terrain, where his sure hit is a yellow snowball. Okay, I'm just playing on that last bit. But they are in the snowy area, which reminds me of the time that he chased down Mahito, as well as this theory that I've been plugging away for over a year of this art that Gege did of them in the snow. Aside from Megumi helping out and coming back, it's the direct influence it has on Yuji. We get to see him smile while he's fighting Sukuna because he does see Megumi fighting back, showing he has a will to live. We have to see how TCB translates this part though, because it mentions something about the 10 shadows has lost its functionality with Maharaga's destruction, but I believe that's just Sukuna thinking that. Maybe Megumi can't use them anymore. Maybe Megumi has a version of the shadows that is linked directly to his soul for him. Or maybe Megumi's fully realized domain expansion will actually revive his Shikigami. It would make sense that a royal family inherited curse technique domain would be kinda crazy. I mean, think about it. It makes sense. It's a pool of shadows, and that structure in it is the thing that brings back the Shikigami. This would allow the user to experiment with different fusions and totalities. Yuji and Sukuna are punching the shit out of each other, but Sukuna, realizing his hollow wicker basket's about to break. Even though he said he wouldn't take the risk of doing it, he decides to replenish his curse technique like Gojo did, which he rips the gauntlet off of Yuji's left arm. Oh, by the way, these were curse tools all along. And then, but something catches Sukuna's attention. Yuji's missing 2 fingers And then the next panel we cut to this finger mysteriously tied up. What could this be? I think the last panel could be relating to there actually being one more finger out there, the 20th finger, and they have it kind of sealed away, but it's not in Yuji's body or anything, it's in a separate location. And maybe that is where they hold Sukuna after they remove him from Megumi's body. Now, Yuji could eat the finger and hold himself responsible to keep Sukuna in prison. I don't think he would eat it and then get Megumi or anyone else to kill him. The only way something like that could work is if they really play into the somatic theme, like good versus evil. Yuji being the equal but opposite to Sukuna to make a stand after a long, grueling fight. And the best they could accomplish was Yuji regaining control in the moment to take Sukuna back into his body, and having no other choice, Megumi would honor Yuji's last wishes and deal the final blow to both of them. So having them do a self-sacrifice after the fact, in a different setting with a different tone, just really wouldn't feel right to me. Let's just say if that is the actual 20th finger existing in the real world, where did it come from? We know Sukuna had 19 thanks to Urame, and Sukuna ate that Shinbutsu mummy to make up for the 20th finger. So the actual 20th finger we all assumed Rika ate, which is how Yuta gained cleaved. But maybe there's a chance that Rika just ate the hand that Sukuna cut off back when he fought Higuruma. We'll see how it plays out, but that's JJK 266. No break next week, Gege's cooking. Next week is said to be the climax of this arc, but we still have like the epilogue. And almost a month ago I theorized JJK would end with a full 9 chapter volume 30. Since I said that, there's been 3 chapters, 264, 265, and 266. Next week would be 267, and there might be an announcement, which I wouldn't be surprised if there is. It's sad but exciting, JJK ends in 5 chapters, which that would mean a full 9 chapters. Boom, crazy if I get that right. Gege has been cooking for me this entire story. I mean, the slowest part's the beginning, but I think it gets better and better. I mean, he's dropped a handful of truly great chapters in the last chunk of his story. I mean, there's a lot of people whose top 3 chapters are all chapter 212 plus. He doesn't tell stories in a traditional way, or maybe a way that people are used to, but something fresh. It's hard to guess what's going to happen. It keeps it exciting. The stakes are real, and I truly love it. But thanks for staying for the whole video. Like and subscribe. Remember, stay normie, stay weeb. Shit even in between is fun. Until next time, peace.